Welcome to today's China Uncut, where we dive into the seismic shifts shaking China's global influence. From plummeting U.S. clothing imports and covert police stations busted in France to a corruption purge rocking China's nuclear weapons program, we're unpacking the stories that reveal a nation under pressure. Let's get started. U.S. clothing imports from China have plunged to their lowest level in over 2 decades as steep tariffs reshape global supply chains. In May 2025, U.S. imports of Chinese apparel fell to just $556 million, down sharply from April's $796 million, marking the lowest monthly figure since 2003, according to the U.S. International Trade Commission. The sharp drop follows President Trump's announcement in April of tariffs up to 145% on Chinese clothing, aiming to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. This sparked a major shift among American retailers, many of whom are now moving their sourcing to Vietnam, Bangladesh, and India. Professor Sheng Lu from the University of Delaware emphasized the decline is far from natural, warning that most major brands are still planning further cuts to their China-based supply. Meanwhile, U.S. procurement from China dropped 25% year-over-year in Q2, while demand in Southeast Asia rose 29%, says compliance firm Cuyema. Mexico also saw gains, with apparel exports to the U.S. up 12% in May. Overall, total U.S. imports from China fell 43% in May, dropping to $19.3 billion. However, the U.S. Treasury gained. Tariff revenue hit a record $24.2 billion in May, nearly 4 times higher than a year ago. Officials project up to $300 billion in tariff revenue by year end. France has dismantled 9 secret Chinese police stations used to monitor and intimidate Chinese dissidents, exposing Beijing's covert operations on European soil. France's domestic intelligence agency DGSI revealed it shut down 9 clandestine Chinese police stations operating in France. These stations, linked to China's Ministry of Public Security, conducted cross-border repression, including surveillance, harassment, and forced repatriation of dissidents. DGSI reports that Chinese agents, often posing as members of cultural associations, continue espionage activities for Beijing. The issue gained attention after French media exposed a near repatriation attempt in 2024. Chinese dissident Lin Huayan, 26, was nearly forced onto a Guangzhou-bound flight from Paris. Journalists from Challenges magazine and France too captured the ordeal, sparking public outrage. Renaissance Party MP Constance Le Grip praised the Interior Ministry, which confirmed DGSI's crackdown in June 2025. A 2022 Safeguard Defenders report identified over 100 such stations across 53 countries, including France, Germany, and Italy. DGSI grew alarmed when evidence linked these operations to the CCP's embassy. In 2023, DGSI summoned Chinese officials, demanding the station's closure. Beijing paused operations but refused to expel agents. Safeguard Defenders Laura Huff calls these stations the tip of the iceberg in the CCP's transnational repression, while France has curbed their activities. Challenges reports Beijing's agents are adapting, using covert tactics to target dissidents. The Interior Ministry warns that the CCP's espionage persists, threatening dissidents and bilateral norms. 2 senior executives at China's top nuclear weapons institute have been abruptly dismissed, fueling new concerns over corruption inside the Chinese Communist Party's military-industrial complex. On July 9th, the Chinese State Council announced the removal of Lai Xinqun and Zhang Ke from their posts as vice presidents at the China Academy of Engineering Physics, KAPE, China's only nuclear weapons development and production institute. Lai, also the institute's chief engineer, had served in top leadership roles since 2016. His and Zhang's sudden dismissals follow a string of unexplained personnel shakeups at KAPE. Last July, both the KAPE president Liu Kangli and Vice President Mo Zia were also abruptly removed. Neither their dismissals nor their current whereabouts were explained by authorities, an unusual silence often interpreted as signs of internal disciplinary action. In December 2023 and January 2024, former Vice Minister of Industry and head of China's Defense Science and Technology Bureau, Zhang Kejian, was also ousted following months of disappearance. Zhang had deep ties to CAEP, serving as its party secretary for 8 years. The shakeups come as China rapidly expands its nuclear arsenal. However, experts warn that military corruption, such as budget inflation and substandard materials, could undermine these efforts. Taiwanese defense analyst Su Suyun told the Epoch Times that corruption may directly affect nuclear weapons safety and reliability. Despite its central role in national defense, KAPE has not escaped the CCP's sweeping purge of the military-industrial sector. That's a wrap for today's China Uncut. China's trade, espionage, and military sectors are facing unprecedented challenges, and we'll keep tracking how these ripples reshape the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more hard-hitting insights. See you next time.